Hello, everyone, and Jonathan is going to introduce us this side. There we go.
Oh, wow. Well, that was throwing me in the deep end, wasn't it? Thank you for that. Hello and welcome. I know. Hello and welcome to the Notion Nerds live stream, I suppose.
Yeah.
We are two Notion nerds. We nerd out about Notion, hence the title. And Danny's going to share his space with us today.
No, I'm not.
Otherwise, he's going to dump me in it.
Yeah, I was going to dump you in it.
Anyway, today we're going to be talking about how useful the new Notion update was and discuss our thoughts, opinions, and then maybe get some opinions from the chat as well on what they think about the new Notion updates, what's good, what was bad, what you're using, what you're not.
Good, bad, and ugly.
Yeah.
Notion Nerd Show. We'll go show.
Notion Nerd Show.
The Notion Show. Okay. So
Ninnis.
For those of you that actually, I didn't share this on Twitter. We should have shared this on Twitter. If you are watching, share it out wherever you are, so people know where we are, what we're doing. The timeline view, I think, was the most recent. Are you doing that now? The timeline view, I think, is the most. Oh, the timeline and the hide properties were the biggest things. Hiding properties was a massive thing for me, and the timeline view.
Yes.
Yeah, hiding properties was a massive thing for me, and then the timeline view was it's nice, but it's got some restrictions. I mean, I've spoken about them a few times now, but John, I'll let you share your opinions on the timeline view.
Yeah. It's okay. It's nice to have more options. It's nice to have the freedom of more options. I haven't really dived into it because I haven't found too much of a use for me yet. Yeah, useful, but not so impressive, apart from the property. Yes.
Yeah. I will say, and this is something that I have asked Notion about, is they have done a lot of other updates that are really, really small, that most people probably won't have even noticed because there are so many small things going on. If you go to the What's New page of your Notion, you'll see an overview of some of the things they've added, but a lot of things they haven't. So, for example, we went over in the last stream, but you can now see the name of the property when you put a tick box next to it. John didn't realize that. Just saying.
Genuinely didn't. That genuinely didn't.
So it just goes to show that even though you're using Notion a lot, sometimes you don't see these things.
I don't have the gallery view with a tick for my tasks or projects. I don't really tick my projects to archive them. I'm always inside my projects. So I don't have any need. And that's the only database which I use gallery for. I don't use gallery for tasks. I use gallery for people, but once again, I'm always inside my data, inside the page, inside of the database. So I don't really see it. It was kind of cool last week seeing that. I'm like, oh, cool, that's wicked, isn't it?
Yep. And the scroll bars. The scroll bars on PC, those on Mac, obviously you don't see a difference. But the scroll bars on PC, they're nice. Actually, John, have you got a Notion page that uses scroll bars? I don't think I have tables anywhere in my space. I think
I can make one do scroll bars. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
I was just about to say.
I haven't tested the screen sharing at the moment. Okay, this is my home. There you go. Look, it's now not atrociously disgusting. It now looks relatively good. It is gorgeous.
It's acceptable.
It is more than acceptable. I can't believe it was a bug that was a bug for this long. Seriously. But no, it's very nice now. You can hide that now.
Hold on, are you using page content for your gallery view?
What?
Scroll down. Is that page content you have there, or is that an actual? Oh no, it's an actual image.
No, it's actually.
I can bring it down now. But yeah, so the scroll bar, that was nice. That was a nice add, and there were lots of other small things they've added as well. So the adding a page with the URL if you're in the browser. That when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's cool. But
I like that.
How would you use that? When would you use that? Because for me, I was looking at it, I'm like, why would I want to make a top level page?
Well, I wouldn't, but it's nice to have.
Yeah, true. And like I think they said, I don't know whether they said it in the, because they've done a, what was it? Oh, I can't remember the letters. SC whatever it was update thingy with the teams and stuff, with changing members and groups and things.
Yeah, SCIM.
That's the one. Yeah, because it was API related, wasn't it?
I guess so. I don't know.
I think they said it in the. I'm going to bring it up on my other screen because I think it said API related, and I would imagine the whole Chrome thingy, the whole Chrome ad page stuff is also related to that. So we're getting closer. We're getting closer.
It feels close, doesn't it? It really does. And I've been having some fun with the
that beta word. It's the word beta. When you look at the plans, you're like, it's getting closer.
It is. And I've been playing with the Notion automations. I've recorded a video last week about it, showing my way through it. And it is really, I am hoping that it's going to be implemented as well as the guys from Notion automations have done. Because if they do, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be really exciting.
Actually, let's zoom in a little bit.
That might be a good idea because that's really hard to see.
Yeah, I'm now zoomed in at like 200 or something. Can you see that now?
Yeah, it's much better.
Yeah, there we go. So you can see we've got the API here, which is very nice. I'm liking the look of that. So we've got this. This doesn't affect me, so maybe John, you could talk about this a little bit more because I know you use a team plan. I don't know whether you'd use all of this, but you definitely know more.
It won't actually count for me because I don't have an enterprise plan. Annoyingly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I never will have an enterprise plan. I'm not that level. I don't need to be that level. It's nice. It's nice, but yeah, I don't know. I need to look into that a little bit more.
These bug fixes, when I saw these, I thought, oh, that's nice. Maybe they will have solved the Control Zero bug fix in PC. No, my Control Zero still doesn't work. Does it work for you? I can't remember.
Don't think so.
You know, when you try, so Control Zero technically should turn whatever you've highlighted into text, but for some reason on my Notion, on the app or on the Chrome browser, it doesn't work. So when I saw this, I thought, oh, maybe they would have changed it, but they didn't. Does it work for you?
I'm testing it right now. I'm kind of intrigued.
All right, still in process. So
no,
no. This is the scroll bar that we mentioned. So they actually classified the scroll bar as a bug. It was a bug. It wasn't a design choice. It was just a bug.
Of course it was. Yeah.
Number properties in databases can now be formatted as Brazilian real, Turkish lira, and Indonesian. And I think this just goes to show that Notion are trying to push out other communities.
I liked that. That I felt was really nice to have different money formats. Currencies. That's the word. That's the word.
Currencies. Something that I wish they would add. At the moment, is all financial currencies, but there's no like pounds or kilograms or grams or anything like that.
That would be quite nice. Yeah.
So I reckon having kilos, grams, pounds, ounces, and all of that as well in there would be nice because I quite frequently have to do conversions for clients between pounds and ounces and kilos and pounds and all the backwards and forwards and stuff, and it's just not fun.
Wow, your clients are fascinating.
Yeah, I've had 3 now that have asked about. Well, I've had 3 specifically that have asked to do quite a, I would say, substantial transfer between like kilos and I can't remember what the big one is. Is it pounds or ounces? Whatever the big one is, I can never remember because I don't use those metrics. But I have to go between the two, and I've just got numbers. So the name of the property has in bracket whatever the sign is, but having that in the number property would be really nice. Just please.
Stating. Yeah. I don't know how they would manage that though.
No, me either, because I mean, that's the same as formulas. Having a formula specific to a row, how would you do that? No idea. I have no idea how to code
I mean,
Asana.
you can very easily do that anyway, because I have that formula inside of my database. I have a formula which says it in pounds based on the currency rate and stuff, which if you use the Notion automation thing, you could automatically update once a day. That's pretty cool. I didn't think about that. I might do that.
Yeah. I mean, formulas are the solution to most aesthetic issues. What do you mean by this? John, do you understand what she's trying to say?
Leading zero. No. I actually don't. Which is a good conversation ender.
Yeah, we need the leading. I'm thinking about where the zeros are. I mean, I know sometimes. I mean, this is me talking formulas, but they add zeros in where you don't want them, and then they don't add them when you do want them. But
yes,
that's a formatting thing. And I've spoken to a couple of the people from Notion, and some of those nuances are deliberate, but they're deliberate for people's use cases. So it's actually interesting. Quite a few of the small things that I have small gripes with, other people have specifically asked for it to be that way because that works in their flow, and I would like it the other way. So it's almost like, can I toggle this? Can I toggle this option? 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3 displays at 1, 2, 3 for me at least. Oh, if you're talking when you've got like a number, having a 0, 1, a 0, 2. I guess. I'm not really sure. I mean, for me personally, I wouldn't put a 0 in front of that, but then, yeah, I guess it's
well, in this case, are you putting dates in there? In which case, you just use the date property, or format it as a date. That's interesting, or a time.
I guess maybe it's because if you want to have it in there, you can't. Maybe that's what she's saying. Because I know most people wouldn't want the 0 in there because then you could go 0, 0, 0, 1. It'd be the same value. But then that's talking aesthetics of the page rather than the numerical value that you have in the number property. Because you could put 0, 1 as text and then just in a formula use to number.
Yeah.
So you could do that. Yeah, so with regards to, so I don't know whether you've noticed this, John, but if you have a page and it's got a relation to it, and then you use a template that has relations in the template, it won't add the templated relations to the page. It will only use the default relation that's in there. So put it in a practical example in MySpace. If I have a project that's related to YouTube, and then I use the Instagram template that has Instagram on it, it won't put the Instagram relation in. It will keep YouTube relation. So if I want to add more relations on because of the template, for example, my YouTube live streams go YouTube, Facebook, and are in live stream. So I have 3 relations. If it's a YouTube project, it'll have YouTube on it. If I want to make it a live stream, I have to get rid of the YouTube relation, then click the template to add the 3 in. Otherwise, it only keeps YouTube. And for me, that's a pain in the bum.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they've done that deliberately because they found that some people were pushing templates and it was overriding the relations, and they didn't want that. So they made a deliberate choice.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't work for my workflow.
I want it this way.
Exactly. I want it my way. do it
my Notion, go away.
Oh, exactly. But I mean, everyone's workflow works slightly different, and I think when they make changes, small changes, they can drastically change some people's workflows. just by small change like that. It looks like there's a clarifier. No, just regular number, but when you go to sort, it does not sort correctly for some reason. But that could just be me.
Oh, is that the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Like it goes 1, 11.
Yeah. Well, it will go 1, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19 to 20. Yeah. Yeah. If you're sorting by number, then yes, that makes sense. If you have that as a number property. I mean, a lot of the people that I know that use numbers in their databases have a formula anyway, so they'll sort by that. But yeah, if you're doing it for sorting purposes, having the 0 on there is either needed, or you use a formula to sort by the formula. But yeah, I see what you're saying, and that's, I guess that doesn't necessarily have to be a 0 thing. That could just be the way that Notion format or sorts numbers, because it's the same as in if the number is in the name of the page and you sort by the name of the page, it will put the 1 and then it will put the 2 next to the 20s rather than 10s.
And yeah, it does a bloody good job when you put like Monday to Friday in the select properties. It will sort it properly for you.
Does it? I didn't know that. I don't.
Yeah. I remember in the past I've seen it. People have said, yeah, it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If you sort by that select property, it will actually automatically go Monday to Friday. Same with dates, I think. I think.
Yeah,
Unless changed it. I mean, they've done so many updates since I last cared about that shit.
Yeah, I mean, trying to keep track of all of the updates has literally been a mission. I have a page in my Notion with all the updates. And I think there's like 23 notable updates that I've seen since the timeline view. So that's timeline, high properties included. And there's been like 23 small things. And then there's loads of other things that I know they've done because I've spoken to the Notion team, but they're not publicly released. And some of the stuff is just like back end work. So you don't actually see anything front end. So I personally, I would like to see all of those small little updates because they could make a massive difference in a workflow. For example, the multi-select in a board view, just being able to add two, like put a card into 2 different select things, just a small thing like that. I mean, that goes to the live stream that I did yesterday on my stream. But when you have something that has 3 different tags in a multi-select in the board view, it will show up on all 3. If you drag it out of one of those, it will lose that tag. And you can't put that tag back unless you go into the page and add the tag, which is just, I mean, I don't know who would ever use the multi-select in the board view grouped by, but it's a thing.
It's a thing that you might want to use.
Could you not put all 3 relations in the template and then delete the ones you don't need in the created page? So that's kind. If I'm understanding that correctly, that's kind of what I was doing. So when I created a page, I had to get rid of the relation in that page to then add those 3 in the template. But yeah. Hello, Gail. Good to see you. I'm going to wave instead of put the emoji. John's like, yeah. Okay. Notion pages. Is it just me, or have they just bolded half of this and not bolded the other bit?
I think you'll find that the bolded ones are improvements, like really key improvements.
Oh no, maybe they're bug fixes and then improvements. So bug fixes here. Oh no, because that's a bug. So
Yeah,
why would they put improvements first if improvements are at the top of the list? Okay, fine. Whatever.
Notion.
I mean, we are being uber picky.
You're being uber picky.
Oh, text isn't in order of the title. I mean, they haven't even put a capital I for improvements. Come on.
Okay, yeah, no, the capital I was bugging me, but still.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, Notion pages now include the page icon in Safari browser. Now, I'm a PC user, and I don't think I've ever opened Safari like once. So this just doesn't affect me at all. Have you noticed any different, John?
I use the bloody app. Who uses browsers? I had to use the browser temporarily. I think it's because
the update with the glitchy stuff.
And I went to the browser for 1 hour and I cried. I couldn't cope. It was just like, give me my app, give me my app, give me my app, give me my app, give me the app now. My command 1 doesn't work. None of my shortcuts that I use all the darn time doesn't work. I don't want to skip to the first tab on my damn browser. I want to go back to my dashboard.
I was exactly the amount of times I used a Chrome browser for, I don't know, a day, maybe. The amount of times I was like, dashboard, oh my god, here we go. So I actually put Notion as my first tab just so I didn't go off of Notion. I was just like, this is driving me mad. I'm gonna have to move this tab over specifically for that reason. And then you use like control and the square bracket to go back a page and it doesn't work. You're like,
oh yeah, that one too. That one makes me cry.
There, like, pushing the button, I'm like, I haven't got the right short. Oh, I'm on a browser.
Yeah, that one. I wish And I hope that Notion's next fix is going to be adding browser tabs, because that would be really powerful and really useful. Gail's just made in.
Yeah, you could use the extension thingy.
Yeah, I did, and then it broke my own Notion, and it wouldn't load, so I had to remove it.
Dang it.
Notion purist, that's why.
Notion snob, yes, we know.
Johnny's making sense and believing Notion would follow in. Yeah. Yep. No, they don't. I hopped on to see if you were sharing. What?
Make sure that you've updated Notion. Clear the cache on your computer. I think it's, I can't remember, on Mac. Cache. Sometimes it doesn't come through straight away either, especially on Mac. It actually took a few extra days to come from me. Windows instantly done.
I will say what I had to do with the recent update it wasn't with the timeline update, it was afterwards when they changed the scroll bar. What I had to do I literally had to uninstall Notion completely from my computer, get rid of absolutely everything, and then reinstall it, because for whatever reason it just wouldn't update. And that's the first time that I've ever had to do that.
Yeah, I've had a few clients having the similar problem where they had to literally uninstall everything and reinstall everything. I had to create another version of my template for people who didn't get the update. Do you remember when we had the beautiful update where you could have as many like things inside of databases as you want and templates? That was a good day. That's probably been the best update they've ever done.
No, self-relating filters. If without those,
no, yeah. All right, fine. Yeah, self-relating filters followed very closely by hiding properties, followed very, very closely by.
Well, I'd say the first one, databases, just having databases. Then
yeah.
Then self-relating filters. I'm trying to think of another update that's been useful. Yeah. Okay. Gail uses browser. I use browser tabs for Notion so I can have in key pages. Yep. I mean, if I was to use the browser, maybe that would be useful, but I don't typically have any more than. I mean, I'll have 2 pages up, maybe max, with Notion. I mean, by the tease that whoever it was teased on Twitter, however long it was ago, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago, with the sidebar, the potential right sidebar thing, similar to what Rome has when they teased that out.
I hope it don't look as shit as that.
Sorry?
I hope it don't look as shit as that.
Well, that's probably something someone's done external. Is like, look what we could do, and Notion probably looked at it and went, "That's a nice idea. API first."
Yeah.
Like API has been asked for how long now?
Since 2.0 was launched.
Oh, still not showing.
Don't just refresh. Also, I don't remember the hard refresh shortcode in Mac.
This is all you.
I have no idea. Yeah, I know. Have you cleared your cache? Hang on, I'm going to Google it because I never remember. I know the code without having to look at it. Supposedly, it's Command, Options, and R. I don't look at it. I just do it.
Yeah.
Option of opening a new window within the native app as a tab. Or yeah. Well, you can if you hold Control on PC or Command on Mac. You can do that. There. Request date for API and eternity ago. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, Gail.
I'm just going to bring that up and just be like, yup.
I have just noticed something really interesting. I don't know whether you've noticed, this completely beside the point, but when you bring that up, our names disappear.
Yes.
I didn't notice that before.
It's happened. It's always been that. Because it's always been that. Okay. Come on, be observant. Right, so the next thing, fixed bug that caused this one. Fix bugs that caused I was going to say interference then. Interface elements to overlaps on Android devices when, I mean, I'm going to be brutal here, but I don't use my phone, like Notion on my phone, ever. I've started using it a bit more now that I've got a better phone. Like having a better phone has definitely sped up the ability to use Notion. So if Notion isn't working on your phone, if you have the money and want to get a new phone, get a new phone. Because that's definitely like sped up Notion on my phone, but still, it's just not nice. I mean, something that I've struggled with. I just went on Notion very, very quickly on my phone. You push into a task by accident. How do you go back? There's no back arrow.
on iPhone, you can just swipe backwards and you can go backwards, but that's just.
But on the Android, I tried that, and all it did was bring up the side menu. Maybe I need to swipe somewhere else. I don't know, but I couldn't find it anyway. That is a
back button on the bottom on an Android.
You what? Sorry?
Don't you have a back button on the Android?
Yes, but I don't actually use my back button.
Well, then that's your damn fault that it's not there, then, isn't it?
I just close down apps because it's quicker that way, rather than like having to hold the push it and yeah. Don't worry. Okay. I could try that. I have to see if it works. But anyway, I'd much rather have it on my PC.
Yeah.
Your car failing to start.
Pretty much. That sums up my day-to-day, yes.
Right, next one. Fix the bugs that cause the settings and members menu to display in Korean for some users. Wow. I'm glad we didn't get that because I wouldn't have understood a thing. I'd never seen that as a bug. Did you know that?
No.
I didn't know about that one. I've known about all the other ones, but I didn't know about that one. Fix the bugs that caused inline hyperlinks to be uneditable.
Oh gosh, I know.
I saw people complaining about this. So I knew it was a thing. Did you ever experience this?
Yes, all the time.
See, yeah, I never experienced
You don't have links. See, you don't work with clients inside of Notion. That's why.
Well, I have links, but they're URL links or they're in in my workspace page links, not elsewhere.
Yeah, they're not actual hyperlinks elsewhere. Yeah, no, I experienced that bug, and I'm so glad it's fixed.
Yeah, it was one of those bugs that I'd heard about a lot in the communities, but I hadn't experienced. Gail's putting a couple of bits in the chat. Oh, that was a long one. John, you're almost covered there. Notion on iOS now has widgets.
I like it.
Yes, I mean, I'm not a big widget person on my phone anyway, but I saw the update and I was like, that's cool.
You don't get it because you're not an iPhone user.
Okay, explain it to me, John. Explain it to me.
It ain't that great. I've put it on there for the sake of
you go roast me and then you go, it's not that great.
It's nice to be able to click a button and then add a new page. It's fine. It's okay. But once again, I'm not on Notion on my phone enough to matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like I say, most of the time I'm on Notion, I'm on my computer. You can see it right down here. It's there. It lives there. Even when I don't have Notion up, it lives there. You get a little bit of a preview of my my dashboard. That's disgusting.
I was worried about my dashboard being shared, but then I was just like, oh, no, mine's much cleaner than your shit.
Copy of, duplicated, 4 formula code blocks. I've got like 7 calendar views.
Oh,
they're all next to one another as well.
Yuck.
Yeah, because I was playing around with stuff and I was like, I need to filter this and change But hey ho. Okay, so next bug is this one. Fix a bug that prevented members from reordering favorited pages in the sidebar. So for me, I don't have any members in my space, so this didn't help me at all, but I know this was a big thing for people that were sharing their space and had team members. You look confused.
Yeah, I didn't really notice this.
Okay. Yeah, I'd seen this in the Reddit and the Discord. I hadn't seen anyone in the Facebook mention it. But yeah, I'd seen it mentioned, and it was on my list of just things to be aware of. So when people do ask me a question, I can go, yes, that's something that someone else has also moaned about or complained about. That's what I do to try and keep up with the community. What do you do, John? Do you keep up with all the stuff in the communities? Well, I'll move on to the next bug. So, fixed a bug. You're allowed to swear, John, because it's the Notion Nerds.
Yeah, good point. Fuck off.
Right.
I do keep in touch with communities, just not the same communities as you.
That we are in the Notion community. You should. Yeah, no, I'm not even going to, because my engagement has actually gone down quite drastically over the last couple of months. Couple of weeks. Fixed a bug that caused the app to lag after using the new customized page feature. I saw this. So this, it's funny. This bug fix is related to the most recent. Where even is this one? So the bug fix is related to this update. So this update, when you use the customized page feature to hide properties, could cause pages to lag quite significantly.
Yeah.
Did you experience that? Yeah. For some reason, I experienced it in some pages, but not other pages, and I couldn't work out why or not.
Thank you, Gail.
I just saw you bobbling your head. John is a card-carrying member of several Notion communities. Go, John. Do you even have Facebook, John?
Do I what?
Nothing.
No, I didn't know what you said. Genuinely, you started.
Well, I said, do you even know what Facebook is, John?
Unfortunately, so.
Oh.
Unfortunately, so.
So this lag fix, for whatever reason, I couldn't find a correlation between any of my pages. Some of my task pages would be slow, and some of my project pages would be slow, but most pages were fine. So it was really inconsistent, and I couldn't work it out. I tried adding stuff to pages, adding more properties, hiding less properties. I couldn't find a correlation. So I'm glad they fixed it, but yeah, it was very odd for me, my experience. Yeah, he pops up every now and then. It's like a turtle in its shell. So it pops its head out as I look, see what's going on. Oh, yeah, I think it's interesting, and it pops its head back in. Okay, next one. Do you want to read this one out, because I've read out all the others?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
I don't actually know why we're reading them out. I'm just like...
I'm reading them out because some of them I've experienced and some of them I haven't experienced, and I'm curious to see if you've experienced them as well, because I know you use Notion. Because some of the bugs that were here, I read them and I was like, I don't know what that is. And then you go and clarify. Oh yeah, it's cool. Fix a bug that prevented start and end of timeline cards being draggable when page lock. I don't use a page lock ever. Do you use a page lock?
Yeah, but I don't use timeline. So that sums that up. It's kind of cool that like IBM, Nike, and Pixar are using Notion. It's kind of just a little bit cool.
Where are you even looking?
Oh, for goodness sake. On the left-hand side, underneath the image, which shows security and identity.
Yeah, oh, there. In the red writing, right with you. There you are. I was looking down here, I was looking in here. I was just like, what? Okay. Yeah. I think I don't know whether it's like the whole team or whether it's part of the team. That'd be really good. That'd be a really good like interview, guest talk, behind the scenes. How does Nike use Notion?
Oh, Nike and Notion. Alliteration, beautiful.
Notion nerds with
Nike and Notion. Try saying that 3 times fast.
No.
Nike nerds. Nike nerds navigating Notion.
Nike nerds navigating Notion. You just completely mucked that up. Nike Notion nerds navigating Notion.
Yes. No.
Nike Notion nerds navigating Notion. Nike no.
Oh, you tried.
I'm not great with tongue twisters anyway. Okay. Yeah. Do you ever read this? This is just a curiosity. Do you ever read that?
No.
No, me either. Like it's nice to see these things, but most of these things either I've seen or they just don't interest me.
I get frustrated when I see other people using Notion.
So whenever you go onto YouTube and you see a Notion video, you're like, "This is going to frustrate me. I'm not going to click on it."
No, it's more when I have seen them in the past. I did it for research to start making my own like customer stories and stuff. I was reading them, and I was just like using none of the features of Notion. You're like just about using databases, but even then, you're not using databases. And I'm just like,
Notion challenge. You have to do a whole week without using any relations or roll-ups or formulas.
Fuck that, no. I'd like to see you try doing that.
No, it was my idea. That means you got to do it.
That's my idea. I don't want to do it.
Basically, I just came up with something I really wouldn't want to do and told you to do it. I really don't want to do it. You can do it instead.
Gosh, no, I couldn't do that. Oh, it drives me insane.
Imagine having a database without any relations.
What's the point?
Yeah. You could use backlinks instead.
Oh, fuck that. Backlinks is useless. Absolutely useless. There is no practical use case for backlinks. They put it in just to tick off Rome users and it worked. They are so bad. I do not know why people, I've seen this all over the place saying, so now are you replacing relations with backlinks? Why? What is the point?
Torin, if you're listening to this, Jonathan's being very nice.
I'm sorry, Torin.
Torin asked me this on Twitter, and I was like, yeah, Torin asked me this on Twitter. He said, are you going to...
Why? I'm intrigued to know if Torin is on the stream. Why do you use the backlinks rather than roll-ups? Because roll-ups are infinitely more powerful. There is so much more you can do.
To be fair to Torin, he hasn't explored roll-ups. So maybe it's a don't know what you don't know type thing.
Maybe.
And I think that's probably that. This is my best guess, and I'm trying to support the people that use backlinks right now. Trying to play devil's advocate. I would imagine they use backlinks because either they don't need roll-ups for some reason, they don't use roll-ups for some reason, they don't know how to use roll-ups, or they don't need to go backwards and forwards between the relation property or see any information before they go into the page. They just need to go there. Or they're using it as like a wiki.
Yeah, I can see the use case of a wiki, but then it's just linked to page, which is infinitely still better, but that's beside the point. Or just the back button.
Yep. Oh, am I further up? Do you think you would be more open to embracing? Oh, there we go. That was a question. I thought it was.
Okay, I'll be really frank here. I don't care. I'm just not. I don't think I'm going to experiment with the timeline view a little bit more. My projects are too small at the moment. I think we were discussing this before the stream. My projects are too cut down to warrant using it at the moment. So what I am going to be experimenting with is over the next couple of launches, instead of having mini projects for my launches, I'm going to have a longer project and have all the kind of processes inside of the page, similar to what you do with your YouTube videos. And I'm going to experiment with seeing how to manage a 2-3 week, maybe a month long launch, and see whether timeline view has more benefit than just using a calendar or just using the list. And I'm going to experiment with that and see. But
I tried to scroll past the GIF, but there's just another one.
I don't.
Something I was going to say. I've seen this. So I was talking to, I can't remember his name. Someone was commenting on the video, and they are a doctor, and they use the timeline view and a day view for appointments and working out the appointments of the day.
That's clever. That's a good use case.
So I think maybe if you have multiple meetings, multiple meetings, that could be useful because then you can see it. I guess time blocking technically, that's kind of what it is. So you can see the meetings.
I find calendar more valuable because I can just see a list of all of the meetings and when they're finishing and start. Like I put the timeline view in my daily meeting calendar, like the meetings today and tomorrow and this week, this month, and it just took up real estate space and became useless.
I think I mentioned that in the video. Like if I was to use that as my tasks, it'd be massive. Project, same thing, massive. I'd have to filter and sort it quite heavily. And with my planning, I just couldn't plan in that view.
Yeah, I think I'm going to... So the way I'm planning to test it out is in one dashboard of mine, which is to do with like launching digital products. That's what I'm going to use it for. And I'm going to see how it feels to work that way. Because it's kind of similar to what we were talking about it before. Marie does do digital products and things like that, similar to what I do. So I'm going to be testing that out and seeing whether I find that valuable or whether just the list and calendar view, which is what you and I have been using for quite a while now, are just more efficient.
Yeah. I think I said this on the stream yesterday. So on the stream that I had on my channel with, who was it? I can't remember who it was. And actually it might have been Homesick. I can't remember. But we were saying that I personally would prefer a weekly calendar view to the timeline view.
Mm-hmm.
Like just chop off the 5 weeks at the bottom of the calendar view and give me a weekly calendar view, then the timeline view. That's what I would prefer.
Yeah, I would find that infinitely more valuable.
But then, hey, that's me, and I don't use a Gantt view anyway.
Yeah, and I still don't think I'm going to find it very valuable. I'm intrigued. I'm open-minded, but yeah.
It's one of those features that you're like, oh, that's cool. That's nice. Don't think I'm going to use it. It's like the board view information for me. I'm like, oh, that's nice. I could play around with that, but I won't use it.
Same.
But obviously other people do use it quite a lot, quite extensively. This week's at Notion has never been exciting or as interesting, particularly all the YouTube content on the Notion use case. Yeah, very true. A lot of people are making YouTube videos on Notion. Like there are so many out there. I'm still sort of caught up. I'm like 2 days behind, so that's probably like 15 videos behind. Just from the amount of content that goes out. But yeah, the this week's on Notion, sometimes there's some interesting things in there from bigger businesses or companies that they're using. But it's more of they're using that. That's cool. But I don't really want to see how they're using it.
Well, it's more of an advertise. It's not for people like us who use Notion on a daily basis. It is for people who haven't said that they're using Notion yet and like aren't sure and are on the... It's not for us. At the end of the day.
Yeah, agreed.
We already love Notion. We don't need to be persuaded to love Notion.
Yeah, neither of us like backlinks.
No.
I think we've mentioned that a few times. Maybe it was Esme on yesterday's stream, actually. Having seen this comment, yeah, I think it was Esme, not Homesick. But I think I've spoken about it with Homesick on a previous stream. But yeah, weekly calendar view, please. Oh yeah, it looks like Gail's in support of that as well.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to carry on going down. Better inline links. Did you see these changes?
Yeah, they're good. Yeah.
See, I mean, for the tab bar, that was kind of nice to be able to see where the emoji was going before you actually clicked on it. That's nice.
Yeah, I liked that. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I know on the back end there's a couple of glitches that this has actually changed with linking, with public linking, private linking, and what you can see, what you can't see, and things like that. But on the overall, it's like that's another one of those small nice changes.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I actually, in some respects, felt that this update was more valuable than I somehow found some of these updates more valuable than the previous big launch.
I'm curious because I mentioned this in the ambassadors group, but I'd like to get like everyone else's feedback on this. Would you prefer to see a more frequent update schedule with smaller updates like this, maybe 2 or 3 small additions with a couple of bug fixes every, 2-3 weeks? Or would you prefer to see a big update every 2 months? Like, what would your preference?
The little updates. The little updates are nice.
I mean, I'm going to compare Notion to ClickUp now. ClickUp have an update every Friday. Every Friday there's an update. It's a really small thing. It might be a really, really, really small thing, minute thing that only helps out a couple of hundred users. But they're always updating. They're always doing something, so you know they're being active. It's not like you suddenly get silence for 3 weeks.
However, ClickUp is still a boxed app. So how Notion would implement micro updates would be quite difficult if you think about the huge span of different use cases that they've got to consider and the ability to go, will this break this person's workflow or this person's workflow? How many types of workflows? I mean, the Notion the poor Notion team have probably got sick to death of you because you go in there all the time and they're just like, yeah, this is broken. What do you mean this is broken? Well, I don't understand what the bloody hell you're doing. And you're just like, okay, I'll jump on a call and explain it. Wow, that is seriously niche. I don't know when we're going to fix it.
Yeah, that sums up the conversations. But then, like, there are other Notion users, other Power users that are similar. I don't know whether they're as frequent because obviously I can only see what they put in the groups. But I mean, I wouldn't say like weekly updates in Notion because that's just not possible because of the flexibility Notion has. But some of these updates I feel could have been done quite like much sooner, like the bug fix of the scroll bar. That could have been.
Oh yeah, that could have just been done in a bloody day. Just get on with it and bloody update it. Still,
exactly. That's something that you could do. I don't know, in a week. Like I don't know, like a bi-weekly bug fix. There you go. There's the name. Like unique rollup properties or unique rollup values, which is the next thing that they've added. Where's my mouse gone? It's over here. This is something that people have wanted for over 2 months at least. And this wasn't in the main update. This was in an update after the main update. So I don't know whether the whole team were working on the big update of the timeline view and hiding properties, and then they suddenly got all this time to do all stuff.
I think now I don't know. Obviously, I think this specific update is related to the API.
Maybe.
Because if you think about it, they've also made another small change which was not shown, where you can't have the same property being the same title anymore. Although they've updated it now so that it just adds a number on the end, but it only adds 1 to the end, and then the number is just 1. But that's beside the point. Like, I think this is a similar thing.
So, because I'm me, I found a bug in that. So if you duplicate, I don't know whether they've changed it because I did mention this. If you duplicate a property, it goes copy of and then the property. If you duplicate the duplicated version, so it goes copy of the name of the property and then 1. If you then duplicate it again, it then gives it another 1. So you'll have 2 property names of copy of whatever it is 1. So you'll have a duplicate. I mean, why you would want to do that, I don't know. But I was testing it out to see if you could or couldn't do it. And
You just like
proved that you could do it.
breaking it, don't you?
Yes, it's good fun though. But yeah, so I reported that to them. So you can have a duplicated name property if you duplicate it and then duplicate the copy of. But again, why you would want to do that, I don't know. And you can't change the name because then it reassesses itself. But yeah.
But I do think that this is about that. I think it has a relation to that. Hey!
Using Notion terms. Yeah. I mean, it'd be interesting. I don't know what I would use this for because most of the roll-ups I have aren't actually, these are all the values. I'm using the roll-up to calculate something, whether it is a percentage checked or how many done or how many undone. So
it's a nice update, but I don't care.
I know Marie will use this for her journaling.
Oh, yeah.
Marie's going to use this for her journal summary because I imagine she's probably got loads of duplicated property, loads of duplicated roll-ups in there, like effectiveness.
I would love to see being able to filter the amount that you view on a relation or a roll-up. Like you can only see the next 5 or 3 or 1 or you sort of have it. Yeah. No, in the property itself, sorry.
With the database restriction, you can open like 10, 25, 50, or 100. You'd want that in the actual like properties bit.
That'd be nice.
I never go in there, so I don't know.
It's just like for clients who don't want to have the overwhelming stuff. I mean, we brush past it, don't give a crap. But it is. Well, yeah, you can now, but what if you don't want to hide all of it?
Deal with it. Just deal with it, okay?
Touché. Carry on.
So Nerdy Notion here says little updates, and then Gail, I think, says the complete opposite and says longer updates. Yeah, longer intervals, because I'd know it would be something that directly helps me with my use case and not small fixes that only apply. Yeah. Selfish, I know, but there it is. No, that's a fair point, and I think that's what a lot of people want as well, because they know it may help them. I mean, this most recent update, I think the only thing that applies to me is hiding properties, and that was one of the small things I could do. Part of my reason is that I use Notion on multiple devices, and seeing the blue update ribbon, that's a good point. Seeing the blue update ribbon every week would be, a little bit overwhelming.
And annoying, yeah.
You're just like, but I just, especially if you didn't see last week's update, you go on like, I don't know, say it's every Friday. If you go on a Thursday, you click on the new update and you're good, you get rid of it, and then the next day there's another update. You're like, I just got fucking rid of this. Oh, that reminds me of the ClickUp stream and the members thing where it kept telling me like, you need to buy. I'm like, no, I'm on the free trial. No. I think that's it for the. Oh no, it's not. Oh yeah, this is one of those things that I mean, I don't use a code block ever anyway. So adding captions, I was like, nah, cool.
It makes sense. It makes sense, but it's just meh.
Yeah, I don't see much of a. I just wouldn't use it. I don't need to use it. There's no reason for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty similar. There's so many things that have been changed and updated that's just like, yeah, that's nice. More options, but not options for me. And I think Notion are getting to that point now where the startup, oh, this is pretty, this is shiny, is starting to go.
Mm-hmm.
They're now growing at an alarming rate, and there are lots of people using it, and they're not able to give those niche updates in a clear and like I can see the future of Notion being the API comes out and things are we're gonna have some problems. It's gonna get messy.
It's gonna get very messy, especially because Notion is quite open with other people playing with all the extensions and add-ons and stuff, as soon as people get hold of an API, all hell is going to break loose. In the developer world, I already know of above 50 developers that are looking to use the API for some reason, like 50 plus people that are looking to use it for whatever it is that they're going to develop. I think a lot of them are doing similar things, but in slightly different ways. I really don't know how it works, but it's just it's going to be an absolute madhouse. And when you look at the diversity of users as well.
I mean, just look at bloody Product Hunt. It's become Notion Hunt at this stage.
Look at this template. Look at this template. Look at this template. Look at this update. Look at this update. Look at this template.
Okay, I'm going to get salty here. I'm going to get controversial. Stop putting your fucking templates on Product Hunt.
Why?
They are fucking templates.
Yeah.
I don't see. I mean, I suppose it's exposure. But...
It's the same as putting it on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or LinkedIn or a YouTube.
And that's
video.
why you never hear any of my products that I'm not. But like, I just. Are
you jealous because they're getting sales? Is that it?
It's not that. I don't know. It just feels a bit odd. Maybe I am just jaded in the industry now. But Product Hunt. I suppose it's Product Hunt. I'm used to seeing Product Hunt being services, software as a service, not products.
Yeah.
Like digital products. It's a weird. I just. I understand why. Like marketing, bloody smart.
But you don't like it.
It just. I don't know. And in 6 months' time, when I launch my new product, I'll probably put it on Product Hunt anyway. But like it,
hypocrite.
No, I won't. I don't think I can physically do it. It just seems.
You'd let someone else do it.
Yeah. No, I don't understand it.
What do you mean you don't understand it?
Well, I do.
I don't understand Product Hunt.
I do understand Product Hunt. But when you're hunting your own products, what's the point? That is a much better way of
Product Hunt, so this is going to be you.
Yeah, I do. I think Product Hunt has become Notion template market hunt. I think that it's maybe I'm just salty. Maybe, I don't know, but I just feel it's all about Notion templates, Notion. It's like, do your own marketing, build your own audience. You're relying on a big website.
That's what YouTube is. To an extent.
Yeah, I think a Product Hunt as a place to look for new ideas, innovations. Yeah. Maybe it's because I'm not the market for it.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I use Product Hunt.
But like the common templates that are sold at the moment on Product Hunt are like, okay.
I mean, this could be also mildly controversial, but I think it depends, like you mentioned about the market. I think it depends on the users looking at it. So from someone that's experienced with Notion, like I think most of us, you could look at the template, look at the pictures of the template and just make it in like 10, 15 minutes. And to me, if I'm looking around an application to look at other applications, I don't want to be able to make it myself. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to look at something and go, oh, I could buy that, or I could just spend 20 minutes making that. If I look at Notion on Product Hunt, I couldn't make Notion in 20 minutes. I probably couldn't make it in years.
And like, this is not me throwing shade at any particular creator, because like you do you create your product, you want to get it shared with as many people as possible. I just personally feel that Product Hunt is not a great place for Notion templates. Yeah, Well, it's. I know a number of recent creators who have done their stuff on Product Hunt. I won't call them out because I feel like I'd be immediately attacking them, which I'm not. So I won't say. But yeah, I think it shows Product Hunt has crossed towards mainstream and has become less unique. Yes, I think I agree. I found some brilliant little apps that have unfortunately died now, but still on Product Hunt, and I enjoyed them. I like finding new products. That's the point of Product Hunt, is to find new products. And it's now become, because it was popularized by that wonderful live stream with Marie, and I can't remember his name, about launching on Product Hunt and all of this and all that. Now everyone's just gone, let's just follow the herd
Trend.
and do the same thing. And it's just like,
I agree. But I mean, if it works, why change it?
oh yeah, if it works, it works. But I feel that train's gonna die.
Well, everything does in the end. I mean, YouTube's going to die in the end, but I think it may be a little bit longer lasting than Product Hunt. When it comes to, templates and updating templates. Question for you.
Go away. Don't like that.
just is that it? Just go away. Okay, fair enough. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, there is.
No, ask that question. You hadn't finished the sentence. I just finished it for you and said go away. But finish. It's an interesting conversation. Go.
You sure?
Yeah, go.
So when it comes to updating templates, or when there is an update that breaks a template, how do you deal with that? What do you do about that? Do you email them? Do you have a change log maybe for your templates?
Yes.
How do you personally do it? Do you have a change log and then just email everyone that's bought the template and said, there you go?
It is very much a user. It's up to the user to make the changes. I have done one big change for one of my bigger templates.
What if people want the old template?
I do keep the old template. Like, this is just for the personal productivity, the big my template or old template, like core databases, all that juicy shit. I do have like a little change log for the bigger ones, but the little ones, the ones that are basically just mini dashboards, no. Like, I will update it. If you want to update it, go and update it, download the new one, move things over. If you don't. I do give lifetime access to, like, the lifetime of the product, access to my templates, because they do change, because as I learn new things and as I implement better practices or improve a workflow, then I just give it off. But yeah, updating templates is a weird one because you can't. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think.
What about you?
So most of my templates are so framework. They're so fundamental, functional. There's no update that's really going to change it unless they make a massive update change. It's really going to change the template. So there's nothing in there that's going to break or anything like that. Having said that, the weekly agenda template, I did change some of the formulas around, because when I made the original in like, I don't know, an hour and a half, and then just made the video. There you go, done. And it didn't really account for a lot of the other issues that there were going to be moving into the future. So I changed that one, but then I just changed the original database, and I have a video at the beginning of every single one of my templates, an introduction video explaining some of the nuances about the template, because some people don't understand some of the parts of the template. And then in that video, I say, if you want to get any feedback or update or anything like that, then email me.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think I'm moving my templates more away. So originally my plan for templates were like an ultimate thing on how to use the template, but frankly, people don't care. And so I'm moving towards the kind of thing as you, with just frameworks. And when I do relaunches of my templates, some of them are not really focused for Notion users. Like there are a number, well, actually all of them aren't really focused for Notion users. They're not for Notion users. They're for people who are not using Notion but want to start using Notion. I desperately want to. That's why I keep pausing, because I see that comment that Gail put, and I so want to mention something, and I'm just like, wait, okay, you've just done that.
There you go.
Is that the one you're looking at? Yeah, that's what I keep looking at. I'm just like, I can hear Danny. I can hear Danny again.
And I was playing around with something on my other screen for it in a minute. So I think it's sad when a website or app goes from being exciting to a point where you hear someone like Francesco keep productive mention and you do an eye roll. Okay. John, I'll let you elaborate. John, you go first.
Oh, no. I've been talking way too much this time. It's your turn. Oh, because you know, yeah, and I can do this too. Yeah. I love how you're keeping the water in your mouth until I finish.
Yep. I was just looking. I was like, I'm gonna. It's right. Yeah.
I've been talking so much more. Go on, Danny. Seeing Notion Nerds is all about you.
No, it's you. You are.
Oh no. Notion nerd Danny Hatcher. You know, screw the fact that I exist or anything. But it's fine.
No, you are the Notion nerd. I'm giving you the stage. This is your opportunity. You have the stage.
Yeah, so I don't even remember what we were talking about. Yeah, like
the comment that's still up on screen.
Thank you. I agree. It is eye rolling now. It's got to the point where another Notion update. Another you're so funny. Put yourself back on alcohol. I think it has got to the point where you see another product hunt launch and it's another digital product and it's another Notion template which looks exactly the same as the other 30 Notion templates that exist. Maybe it's because I'm just in that Notion industry. And I think that there are multiple ways you can do a template and multiple ways you can sell that template and for different people. And I am still going to launch templates because it's financially a good idea. If I don't launch templates, it's stupid. And at the end of the day, I've got to make money. But it is very eye-rolling. It's just like...
I think when it comes to the apps, I'm not just speaking about Keep Productive here. I'm talking about Simpletivity, Tools on Tech. No, not Tools on Tech. Tech. Tools with Tech. It's not Bass's channel, another channel. And there's 4 or 5 different channels where they review apps. Some of them newer apps, some of them older apps, how to use apps. And my immediate thing whenever I see any of those reviews is this going to be a consistent app that I could use? Because if it's a new app, like a starter app, and there's not much support behind it, I don't know. It's very similar with all of the add-ons that there are to Notion. I don't know whether I can trust it. So I don't want to bring it into my workflow and then 6 months down the line, it suddenly just disappear and we have to go to another app. So whenever I see any of those apps, I want to make sure it's an app that I can rely on and it be consistent. That doesn't necessarily mean that just because you pay a lot for it, it's going to be consistent. Because some apps have massive, really big charge rates for the app, and then they flop within 6-7 months. And you think, oh, okay, that was kind of a waste of money because now I can't use it anymore. And I have to do it again for another one. Which is where the attraction was for me when I started using Notion. I thought, this is a cool app. This looks good, and it's free. I'll start using it. And as it's got bigger and bigger and bigger, somehow they've still managed to keep it free. But it's big enough that I don't think it's going to disappear within the next 5 years. Or 10 years, to be honest. I think they've got enough money to last 10 years, don't they? With the grant that they got given.
I think so.
Fingers about that. But yeah, so whenever I see any of the new apps, I'm like, okay, is it going to last me though? That's the question. Is it going to last me? And with the templates, I know, I mean, again, this may be because I'm inside Notion, like inside the Notion community, but I know as soon as I get a template, I'm going to change it. I'm going to adapt it. I'm going to mold it, which is why most of my templates, I don't have big elaborative structures because I know people are just going to change it. They're just going to...
that was my biggest mistake.
And then they break it. And you're like, okay, never mind. I was going to say you were going to say something, and then I'll bring a comment up before you sneeze. I don't think I would ever try to sell a template unless it was a package of tons of packages. Yeah. I'm still new at selling stuff. So, yeah. So,
Danny, you got a lot to say about that one, haven't you?
Well, I never said I wasn't going to sell templates.
No, honestly, I don't think it's not selling templates that's the problem. I don't think there's anything wrong with selling a template. I think it's just because the people in this chat both are nerds and could recreate the template in some templates I've seen wouldn't even take me 5 minutes to recreate.
Again, this is very directed at, like, if the template is directed at a beginner audience, which the majority of templates are, makes 100% sense. Definitely do it because you can get money from it. Let's just be real. Let's just be blunt here. We need money to live. So making those templates makes 100% sense. And I don't do it yet. I may do it in the future. I don't know. I'm going to try to avoid it if I can, but who knows what's going to happen in the future. But the templates that I make are for people that have started using Notion, but just need somewhere to start.
Yeah. And I think for me, one thing I have learned with creating templates is I went too far the other way and gave too much, and it was too complex and people didn't like it and thought Notion was bad. When really what it was just I gave too much information at once, which is why I understand the idea of simple templates, because and I'm actually going to be launching a template which is just going to be chucked up and you get it, you do what you like. It's just going to be a really what would take someone like Danny or I half an hour to create, even if it's that. But it gives you the ability to start. I think it's just like you pay to play faster.
Yeah. It sort of it gives you a stepping stone to sort of like jump from rather than having to build it up yourself. And something that I've actually found a lot from the feedback that I've been given from my templates is because my templates are so broad, they're just, this is a skeleton, there you go. Some people want more, some people don't want as much, but most people that have got my template get it for a specific reason or a specific feature. So it's not the whole template they want, it's just maybe one formula or maybe one property setup or one formula database setup with specific filters or a page or something, either to see how it works, to see what it looks like. Even though they've seen the video of me make it, they still want to have it to play with, to mess around with and see what happens. And the weekly agenda, loads of people go for that template purely for the formulas. They don't care about the board or the calendar view. They just want the formulas to see how the formula works. And I know I'm going to be doing a template of my space, and the intention of the template
is that the template for
formula
automatic recurring tasks.
Oh. Yeah, so that's recurring tasks and the moving dates with projects and the action date formula.
I think even I might buy that, so I don't have to bother.
So currently that template that I'm in process of making, the idea is not to go, this is a template for you to use full stop. This is a template if you don't want to have to bundle through working out how this formula works or how this database setup works or anything like that, then you can get it and go for it, because I'm not going to spend hours going through all of those things over and over and over again. While we're talking about templates, I do want to share something that I sort of teased yesterday on stream, and I'm gonna let's bring it up here. Hey. So I mean, I am awful with graphics, so I made these in like, I don't know, 3 minutes. But it's just a file. It's just a file image that you can put into the database. But what you can do, let's go for the number one. So as you go into number one, and then you can say done, and when you tick it off done, it disappears and comes up with a present for number one. And this is actually a different page. So you have a message. And obviously you can add all the other stuff in there. And then number 2 is the same, 3 is the same, 4 is the same. It's all the way through, and it's a calendar. So yeah. this is just something I was playing with for Christmas.
Hang on. So that's an X. So that's actually kind of cool. I quite like that. Do you want to dive into how you do that? Because that's kind of cool.
I push on 2. I push done. It disappears and then reappears because it's now a different page. And then there it is.
So how does that work?
If I show you how
really
it works,
intrigued.
if I show you how it works, you're not going to get the template to see how it works.
This is the Notion Nerds channel. We're all nerds here. It's sharing for the aspirational aspect of it.
I'm going to go quickly into the reset. So I'm just going to drag that down, push enter, reset all those. There we go. There you go. That's how it works. No. What's the best way to show? I guess
Show all the hidden properties. That probably would be a good idea.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. So you see the 7. I mean, I really don't want to have to explain all of this because there's a lot to it. But essentially, there are 2 pages that represent 1. There's 2 pages that represent 2. 2 pages represent 3. One of them has the front cover, which is a 1, and the other one has a present cover, which is obviously the present. So there are 2 separate pages, and then that one goes to 1, and then the 1 on the other side has a from 1. So you've got the relation going to and from. That's the message. And this message is empty because this is for the front page, and the back page has an actual message to it. Then you've got the roll-up number, and that is for it's for the ordering, basically. And then you've got another order there.
That's pretty cool. I quite like that.
But yeah, so that's cool. Oh, and while we're here, they changed this as well after the update. Now it stays. Previously, when you hit a property,
I like that.
So now I can hide them, and they'll stay hidden. Previously, if you opened them,
they stay open until you hit refresh.
Yeah, well, no. Previously, when you clicked open and you clicked it off, it would go back and hide them all again. But now it doesn't. Now it stays there.
Oh, yeah. I love how Notion T-App also said the same thing as what I was thinking. Darn it! I did have the same idea of a Christmas calendar.
Yep. Yeah, she was on stream yesterday when I mentioned it. Because I mentioned that I made something like this. I mean, the graphics, the aesthetics of it are bad. The original idea, right? This was going way out of my comfort zone when it comes to design. The original idea was to make a picture out of the gallery view. So have a picture and split it up into, I don't know whether it be, what's that, 24? So maybe a 6x4 image. But because of the gallery view, you're going to have big white lines going between everything. So the picture's going to be very nasty looking, which is why I did it that way. But I mean, it's still cool. It's still fun. But yes, I'm gonna just put that up. Probably put that up on Gumroad for, I don't know, a couple quid. So there you go. Have fun, play around. But it's just something to mess around with. Have you thought about doing something similar when it comes to templates or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about that at the moment, of releasing some really simple, cheap, because all of my stuff is actually on the higher end, purely because I don't just give a template. It's a whole live training. There's extra stuff. I do quite a bit, but I am just like, and I just throw up some freaking templates. Just like, I'll create a bunch of templates that are fun.
So I'm not going to tell you the financial numbers behind it, because I think I'm going to save that for a YouTube video, because I'm going over all the money that I get from YouTube anyway, and I'm thinking of putting digital products in another video that's kind of separate. But I sell 5 templates. One of the templates is high ticket, and I've sold.
Okay, can you define high ticket?
High ticket compared to all the others is
how much is that?
50 for a template, which is quite a lot when you look at a lot of the other templates. Well, it's a lot, the majority of templates out there, but a lot of the super high ticket, 100 plus. So it's a 50, and that's sold hardly any. And then I've got another template that's sold, I think it's like 12 times the amount of templates and still hasn't earned me the same amount of money. So it's sort of like the small templates are satisfying for me. Like, yes, I'm selling stuff, but then I'm actually earning more with the high ticket template because obviously it's higher ticket. So it's having, if I'm speaking kind of directly at a nerdy notion here, but if you start with a small template, just proof of concept. So proof that someone would buy whatever you're making, it's yes. A good feeling. And it's the same with YouTube.
Very much, yeah.
The first like penny that I earned from Google AdSense, I was like, oh, I'm over the moon. Like I've earned something from a YouTube video. Now I'm earning 300 plus a month from YouTube, which is nice. I mean, it's not significant, but it's nice. But that first penny, it was so good. And it's just validation that what you're doing is actually worth it. But we're sort of talking business in Notion now. See what I did there? What can you say what you're rebranding yourself to?
Yes. Well, it's not. If you look on my socials, you'll see it now. Simplicity Specialist. So that's what I'm rebranding as. Because I'm doing.
Is that what you're calling yourself? Simplicity Specialist, or you're calling yourself Jonathan's JSS?
Just.
You're just that good with Notion.
I am. No, I'm branching out to more than Notion, because Notion is like this much of what. Well, you know, Danny, because we've done consulting before.
And I think we've spoken about expanding audiences as well after stream.
Oh,
we've spoken about that, haven't we?
Oh yeah, and like I'm planning to be.
Oh, like, am I forgetting a conversation here?
No. I personally am not. There's a reason why I'm not always in the Notion communities, because I'm in the others, and that's where you and I, Danny, differ, because you're very much in Notion and in YouTube, whereas I'm very much in the solo business and business entrepreneurs and people like that. And so for me, it makes sense to rebrand a little bit, even though the business in Notion is a pun, which some people get, some people really don't, and it does my head in.
You lied. Your handle on Twitter is still Notion Biz.
Yes, my handle on Twitter.
Yeah, it's a Simplicity Specialist, but
I'm not rebranding that yet. Goodness me, it says I'm a Simplicity Specialist.
Simplify your business, simplify your tech, simplify your Notion. Your Notion. It's your Notion. Your Notion.
Yours! It's all for you!
But yeah. Okay, that's interesting. It's interesting. I like
You're going to want to chat after the call, aren't you?
I like
once this is finished, we're going to have a chat, aren't we?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I thought as much.
I'm liking the cogs and the redesign and the stuff. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I like it.
And each cog has a purpose. And you'll love it because
orange, I like it. Black and green, nah. Not the right.
You haven't
color.
seen my recent sales page. I've done a page for a launch I'm doing recently, and it is just orange.
So is that why you didn't appear for the podcast this week?
Yes. I've been doing 100 and also family stuff. But yes, I've been so busy with rebranding and client where I've had some fun with some clients this week. It's been good. When
it comes to Notion clients then, are you still going to work with Notion clients? Are you still going to work with Notion people and be involved with it? What's happening to the Notion nerds? If you're not...
Yeah, of course I am. I am going to be helping. But the issue that I've had when the clients have come to me wanting to use Notion are they don't get Notion like people in this community do. They're not that heavily invested in all of the nerdy shit that we love. And they don't have their workflows set up, which if you don't have your workflows, you don't have your systems, you don't have those done, no matter what app you use, you're in trouble. Like, you just can't. I mean, you can BS your way with stupid tools like Trello and Asana, but if you want to take it, I want to go Asana with you in a minute because
Roxana's here. Roxana's here. Be careful.
Why?
Oh, Roxana knows Asana. She used Asana.
Yeah, I'm not judging people for using Asana, but with Asana, you can BS your way through a system. You don't need to have a full-blown structure to use it efficiently, because you can just completely make it up as you go along, and it won't break. Whereas with Notion, if you try to make it up as you...
But it's simple. You can't break Asana or ClickUp.
No,
or Trello,
no.
Or
Well, you
Airtable.
can play. I disagree with ClickUp. You can get confused by ClickUp. ClickUp's kind of in the middle between going from a tool like Asana and Trello to Notion.
Or Coda.
I think it's a good stopgap. Because if you don't use ClickUp properly, it's going to be useless to you. Trello's a piece of crap. Like, Trello is not a project manager. It just isn't. And I get so, like, you cannot use Trello for project and task management. You just can't.
Yes, you can.
Okay, you can, but you shouldn't.
Thank you.
I do. Yeah, Asana has some benefits. I'm intrigued. What good things does Asana have, and are they incredibly nice and kind? But Danny, you recently explored Asana. I started watching the stream and then cried with laughter. So, did you find any benefits to Asana?
I'm going to be nice to Asana to start with. The first 40 minutes of the stream, I could not get my head around how it was structured. It just didn't make sense. So it was very frustrating. But when I got my head around it and I understood it, yeah, I didn't really like it. So it's a good app for simple task and project management.
Yes.
It does task management. It does project management. It does have integrations. Note-taking, good luck. Clipping doesn't exist. Linking between tasks and projects, you could do it, but not in a way that I would have found useful. And then the customized views, it's a boxed app when it comes to views, as are most of those apps. So if you liked the view and you like the aesthetic of Asana, then good for you. If you don't like it, move, go somewhere else. So again, Asana, I think, is one of those apps. It's a really good starting point for someone that has no idea what's going on. Are you reading a comment in chat?
Gail's comment. Way to be positive about Asana, Danny. Good one. It's just like, you're like, I'm going to be nice about Asana to start with. I don't like it.
Well, I was nice. I said that I didn't understand it.
You were not nice. You went, for the first 45 minutes, I didn't understand it. But when I finally understood it, I didn't like it. That's not being nice. I was looking forward to you actually saying what you liked. And all I got was...
No, but I mean, I did say it was good.
No, you didn't.
I did. Rewind the stream. I said it was good. If there was just a big if afterwards, it was sort of like it is good, but a little bit of a side comment. I mean, it obviously works for some people. Let's put it that way. It obviously works for some people, but I think having used Asana for a whole hour and having explored,
wow, you only did an hour.
Yeah, I couldn't go any longer. I couldn't find anything. It was. This is going to sound bad. You know when you open up like a present or a gift or a box or anything, and you open it up and you go, "Is that it?" That's literally what it was like. I spent 40 minutes trying to unwrap the paper. I unwrapped the paper, looked inside the box, and went, "Is that it?"
It's a good entry level product. If you don't know what the heck you're doing, you don't have very complicated systems, you don't need to do detailed things. Fine. Yeah, it works. You can get away with project management on Trello and Asana and apps of that ilk. But the moment you need to actually start taking your business seriously, I'm talking business because that's all I know, or like content management or anything that requires multiple workflows lined up in a particular way, or the moment you start thinking, oh, it'd be really nice to be able to just have this one feature to be able to do, that is when tools like ClickUp and Notion, note, I put them both in the same category because frankly, ClickUp is bloody good. It is as close to Notion as you can get, apart from the fact it is just a project manager. It is just for projects and tasks. And if you, okay, fine, yes, I know Notion is better. Shut up.
I was actually going to say you could use. So I've got a video coming out on my channel next week about Notion versus ClickUp, and we've got Layla coming on next week on the Notion Nerds podcast, and she is a ClickUp consultant. So we are going to be exploring ClickUp a bit more next week.
Podcast, live stream.
Yeah, but the channel's called Podcast. Oh, okay. On the Notion Nerds podcast, YouTube live stream.
Thank you.
So she's coming on stream next week. But yeah, and you can do note taking in ClickUp, and you can do task and project management in ClickUp, but they are split. Yes, ClickUp. I know, I said it wrong.
No, I haven't what help it. Just trolling you now. Now that is how to be nice about another app, Daddy. Yeah, ClickUp is good. It is good.
ClickUp's actually a good app. Asana isn't.
Huh?
Yeah, but ClickUp is actually a good app, so it's easy to say good things about a good app. Asana is like Trello. I haven't even
tried Trello yet.
I haven't tried recent versions of Trello. I have used Trello in the past. I've done a video on Notion versus Trello, but that was one of the first comparison videos I did. So I haven't used Trello since.
That's the thing. Like, ClickUp is a stopgap. I don't know what the word is between, like, to get you to Notion. If you implement ClickUp, you would have the workflows and the processes and the things you need to move to Notion. That is a fact, pretty much.
I think Notion can be the Trello or the Asana or whatever box app there, but Notion can also be ClickUp. Then Notion can also be that bit more. So if you just want that first bit, go for a box app. If you want a bit more, go ClickUp. If you want a bit more than that, go to Notion. I think
you've got to really take it seriously. Like, you've got to be ready. You've got to be in your business and have your own.
Notion seriously.
No, you've got to take your business seriously. You've got to be at a stage where you want to work exactly how you want to work and be comfortable in your business skin. When you get to a point, like when you first start exploring being in business, you're very much just following the herd and copying what other people do. That's how you learn. You mimic, copy, etc., etc. Great. But when you get to a certain point in your business, you start to go, well, I don't like that, and I don't want to do that. I want to do it this way. And that is when Notion becomes more powerful. Why would people need you, Danny, or whatever? You don't need us. I find it really difficult when people say that they rely upon me. This is just me personally. I don't know whether you agree, Danny, to build your workflow. No, I am not your business. I am just some dude who loves Notion, who has built his own systems. Like, you can come and get my advice, sure, but I can't build you a workflow. You need to have something to play with. Like, if you don't know where you're starting from, then just leave me alone. Go to Asana, go to Trello. I can refer you to someone who is very good with both of those things. But when you get to a stage in your business where you want to grow and scale and really build your business, not just a copy of someone else, that is when Notion becomes really powerful.
I think.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I think if people don't have a system and don't have a workflow, then talking to someone that has mic sort of drop. If people don't have a system or a workflow, then talking to anyone that has a system or workflow is beneficial, or just getting inspiration. They don't even need to be Notion or ClickUp related or whatever app related. If they have a system that works for them and you don't have a system, then they'll be beneficial. There'll be value in listening to them, which is where a lot of the YouTube watch, like YouTube productivity watch time comes from. It's people that have no idea what their workflow or system is, so they watch productivity YouTubers to try and get some ideas, get some inspiration to start going. And once they've got a start, once they've got a system, once they've got a system and a workflow, then they can go to an app or a consultant for the app and then start building it from there. So the value we give, I think, is the knowledge of the app and applying the app to the workflow.
Speak for your fucking self.
Huh?
Speak for your fucking self.
That's basically what you're doing. You're applying your understanding of the app to their system or workflow.
Yeah, but there are people who need help with the workflow, which is where I'm shifting. That's where I think
I see that it's two different people. Like, or two different pages. You've got find system workflow. That could be someone watching a video on YouTube or actually asking someone for a system workflow, whatever. And then it's actually putting it into practice with an app.
Yes. Yeah. And those are separate things. People often rely on apps, and I think it's because of this boxed app ecosystem that we have, that the apps are the solution. No, the apps are the vehicle for your solution. Oh, yes, you can help someone build.
It's literally him.
Oh, yeah. Hi. Yeah. Whereas, Danny, for you, you couldn't stand that. Like, you've said it before, you don't enjoy helping people design workflows. I love it. You like people who are ready to go and are ready to go into Notion. Whereas for me, I will sit with you for 2 hours. I did this last week. Absolutely wonderful time. I loved every second of it because I was able to help them design a system that works exactly how their brain works. And that for me is exciting and thrilling and enjoyable. Yeah, because it saves time. My job is to save you time. And my job is to simplify your business. Hence why the tagline is simplify your business first, then your tech, and then your Notion. That's the order. There's a point, because you start with your workflows in your business, making it easier to run. So then you can install the tech you need, which often and almost always, because the people I work with are more on that level that need lovely, juicy details and don't just need a box. That's where they use the Notion.
Yeah. Most of the people I work with are people that they've explored Notion, they have a system, they have a workflow, but there's just lots of clunky bits there and they want to try and streamline it. So they're streamlining. Yeah, they're trying to streamline the system and workflow they already have, whether that's combining databases or sorting out views, sorting out some template, or refining the workflow they currently have to make it better for them. But they've already got that system and workflow in place.
Yes.
And most of them already understand Notion to some extent.
My people don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's because most people find me through my videos. And if they've watched 4 or 5 of my videos, they sort of understand what's going on with Notion.
And my audience don't care. My audience just want to make their life easier.
Yep, that's fair. And there's no point having loads of consultants do the same thing. I mean, Marie focuses on a different audience. August focuses on a different audience. We all focus slightly different audiences. And I would much rather work with a YouTube creator than a normal business person, because that's what I'm interested in. But I know not every YouTube creator is going to use Notion. I mean, not every YouTube creator is even going to have a process. A lot of YouTube creators, for whatever reason, decide, you know what? Hey, this sounds like a really cool idea of a video. Let's just make this one. And I mean, oh no, I'm not going to name names, but I know a couple of creators that have millions of subs, and they will plan stuff out, and then like 2 days before the due date, they'll go, actually, you know what? I'm going to go do this instead. and that's their workflow. That's what works for them. So using something like a Box app.
You just hit it there. I was like a bloody repeat. You just hit it. Yeah, like you just hit the point. What works for their brain. But a box app doesn't help with what works for your brain, unless your brain is literally linear, which no one's brain is linear.
If it is, please introduce me to this person.
Yeah, please. If you are very linear, a linear thinker, please get in touch. I want to speak to you, dissect your brain, and understand you. I mean, speak with you.
If I was linear, I wouldn't spend the amount of time I do on YouTube and Notion. I go into Notion and think, I'm just going to make this. 4 hours later, and I've made like 4 other things and got video ideas. And then I go, oh, these are all now video ideas. Now let's go research all these video ideas and see what I can find. And my whole day goes. So when people think, I think this is a misconception just in general. This is one of the gripes I have kind of with productivity in general. This isn't just YouTube.
Oh, okay, cool. We're gonna get that topic now. Yes, please. Let's go. Let's
rolling the sleeves up.
Yeah.
So with productivity in general, when it comes, so there was a recent video that I watched on the Keep Productive channel it was like a 40-minute lecture thing about productivity, and there were categories and all the stuff, and you can dissect it as much as you want or whatever. Everyone looks at productivity slightly differently, whether you're doing GTD or whatever other methodology and stuff you have. At the end of the day, you just got to have fun with what you're doing. And a lot of the videos that are out there are productivity for that person in that state, in that context, at that time. And if you're not that person in that context, in that state, at that time, then it probably won't work for you. I mean, this is just from my experience, but I've watched most. Actually, let's put some names. So I've watched all of Thomas Frank's videos, all of Ali's videos, all of Matt Diavella's videos, all of Michelle B's videos, most of the Getting Things Done videos on their channel. I've watched the majority of the Keep Productive videos, and I use very few of the things they speak about. Most of the time I listen to them and go, "That's cool, wouldn't work for me."
And this gets onto a big bugbear I have, because I am so a coach that I've just been speaking to recently. I love it's like foundations, not blueprints. Everybody wants a blueprint. They want this step-by-step guide to achieving everything. Well, guess what? Doesn't work. There are no blueprints, because we are all individual human beings, and you need to find your workflows, your ways of working that work for you. And if I say work one more time, I need to work on not working too hard on working on that work.
I'm going to go back to YouTube because this is my thing. Another mic drop. So when it comes to looking at channels, some channels can explode in 3-4 videos. Other channels don't go anywhere with like 1,000 videos.
Yeah.
Because it takes time to learn all the skills, to learn YouTube, to learn the platform, to learn strategies, to be comfortable in front of camera to start with. There are so many things that go into YouTube, and I'm going to associate this with just anything in general. The same with Notion. When you start with Notion, there are so many things to learn to make it productive. What are you giggling at? Work.
It just really put me off. Sorry.
But so with YouTube, there's a start point, and then there's a massive journey to wherever it takes you. There's no real end point with YouTube until you stop. And it's the same with Notion. You start with Notion, and then you learn things, and then updates happen, and it just keeps going. And it's the same with productivity. You start somewhere, and then you just go over time, and there's going to be peaks and troughs because it's a massive journey. And you could use any analogy for that, but productivity in general is just making sure you're moving forwards. If you're not moving forwards, you're not being productive. If you're moving forwards, it doesn't matter how far you're moving forwards. You could do one task in a day. You've moved forwards. You've been productive. Then it comes down to comparing your productivity from day to day, week to week, month to month, whatever. That is where I think a lot of people, when they think of productivity, that's what they look at. I have been more productive than that person, or than this person, or than me that day, or whenever, rather than sort of starting at a baseline going, I need to do more than this to be productive. If you're constantly moving that baseline, I mean, I guess we could go backwards and forwards, but I mean, there's so many different methods.
The baseline always does move, though. The moment you make one step forward, you're always further forward than you were before. And the problem is that with the common hustle culture, ableist bullshit that is going on in the productivity world, it's all about you've got to keep getting the hours in. But at the end of the day, what your hours are and what you can do in the day will never be. I'm waiting your face. I'm intrigued. You only make that face when you have things to say. But I'm going to speak up now. And the thing is that if you look at Danny and I as a good example, because it's the only thing that we have right next to each other, like Danny is in the thanks for that, Foxer. Cheers. Danny is quote unquote more productive than me. He releases more. No, you release more YouTube. If you look at YouTube only,
I was going to say, please put some context on that.
If you look at YouTube only, he does more things than I do. So in a traditional hustle culture bullshit crap, it's all about the fact that you've released lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. But sometimes the work is behind the scenes and there's nothing to show for that. Does that mean you're being unproductive? No, hell fucking no. In some respects, if I wanted to, I could hustle out a shit ton of YouTube videos in one day if I really wanted to. But I don't. Because shut up! Second. Turn that.
Is that one of those Siri things?
No.
Oh, okay.
Is that Rebecca? Because I will be killed if that's Rebecca. And I just told her, oh shit, it is Rebecca. She's gonna shout at me. Okay, I love you, Rebecca.
I'm gonna clip this. I'm putting it in the team space. Rebecca, look at this.
No, you're not.
Anyway, 1 hour 47 of the stream.
I saw stabby, so I'm frightened already. Anyway, productivity is flexible. It is about who you are, what you want. You need to define your own productivity. What is productive for you? What you want to achieve? Because you can always be productive, whether it be being productive, sitting and playing a video game for an hour or so, because guess what? That's productive. Because it's making sure you're okay. If that's something you enjoy, that's productive. If you spend all your time hustling your face off, that's not productive.
It's productive in a different sense.
No, it's not. Not if you just hustle all the time. It becomes unproductive.
Could.
No, it does. It does. It does. It is unproductive because you're not getting, because the stuff you create is not as good.
Subjective, but okay.
It's not to the same standard as you could if you took your time and slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, but that's quality versus quantity.
Yeah, precisely. And people who hustle and just concentrate on hustle is all about quantity, more and more and more, more. Instead of
is that always a bad thing?
Yes. Sometimes can be, yes.
So you think I should have done 1 video a week instead of 3 in a live stream?
No, I think you should have chosen your flow and go for your flow.
But I could have done less. I could have done 1 video.
Did you want to?
Did I want to? No, because hustling would have made more sense. From the strategy that I went with, made more sense. And it makes more sense financially as well. So doing more gives me more.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, for the YouTube. For what I'm currently doing at the moment. Because views equals finances. And I haven't found a video that's going to get loads and loads of views yet. So I need to keep going until I find it. And the more I make, the more tests essentially I get.
True.
So the quantity versus quality is a massive balance, and that's a topic that could go for miles. that could go forever. But I think there's an element of quantity. I think what you're trying to say is there's an element of quantity that if you go over a certain line, then the return on investment goes down, and that I completely agree with. And
it's hustling because it's cool. That I find
it's a line that everyone has.
Yeah, and it's about finding your line and choosing and making a decision yourself.
I like this point from Gail, because this is something I'm going to speak from a YouTube perspective, because that's where I'm at, and I'm sure, John, you can elaborate in the business. But with YouTube as a video, there's much more to it than just I'm going to make a video and publish it. You've got title, but what are you going to put in the title? You're going to put keywords. Where are you going to put the keywords? How are you going to title it? Thumbnail. There is so much to think about in a thumbnail. Then you've got SEO, and you've got your description. How are you going to describe it? What are you going to put in the description? Are you going to put affiliate links in there? Are you not? Where are you going to put it? Then you've got the about section, any disclaimers you need for affiliate links. Then you've got the tags, and that's just one video. Then you need to choose the topic of the video, and the list just goes on and on and on when it comes to a strategy. And that's just one video. Then you've got the whole channel and the rest of it. But none of that is seen.
So is it less valuable? That's the question, which it's fascinating. And it's the same with business. Like I am not posting 24/7. I am not on social media all the time. I do not always tweet. Does that mean I'm not doing things? Does that mean I'm unproductive because I'm not tweeting new updates about what's going on in the Notion space, or adding new videos, or doing this? Not necessarily, because I could be doing something else, like going through a rebrand, which no one sees the results. There are little trickles of it now because I've finally started putting it out there, but there's so much going on in the background that no one talks about, which is why the idea of building in public is such a wonderful idea, because then you really do get to see what's going on in the background. And often it's boring, frankly. It's not exciting. Like, as in to view, it's fun for us, people who are behind the scenes and really getting excited and squealing about a new, logo, for God's sake.
Yeah. I can definitely preach on that one with the new logos designs.
And like that's fun for us, because it's really showing who we are and what we're trying to build and what we're trying to design. But there's so much, but it's not exciting. Oh, cool, it's a logo, right? Give me more Notion content, give me more this, give me that. I want this, I want that. And it's like, oh, you don't know what you're doing then, do you? You spend all your time messing around with this and messing around with that. You don't know what I do. Back off.
So something that I was going to say a while ago, this is when my brain ticked. So I'm going to go like degree now. I'm going to go back to my degree that I still haven't graduated from yet. But
Have you not?
No, because I don't graduate technically till February, and I don't know whether I've actually passed my dissertation or not, because I haven't looked, because I keep forgetting to have a look at the grade. I think the grades have come out. I'm not sure. I haven't paid attention at all. I really don't care, to be honest. But when it comes to training, essentially, there are two main training plans in the gym. One's percentage-based, so you're just looking at the percentage of weight that you moved either the last session or the last week, and you just increase it on percentage. Or you have an RPE scale. An RPE is rate of perceived exertion. I don't want to explain it, but basically, you think how you're feeling today, and what?
Sorry. RPE is, I don't want to explain it, but I'm going to explain it.
I'm not explaining it.
Oh, gotcha. No, okay.
No, okay, I will explain it then. RPE, no. So RPE, so the difference between RPE and percentage is you have a baseline. RPE is your baseline, whereas percentage is a baseline that was made 2 days, 3 days, whatever day ago. So RPE is like in the day, in the now. This is my baseline. So every day you have a new baseline. When it comes to productivity, essentially, that's what I was thinking when we were going through it. I was like, I have more of an RPE type productivity. How am I feeling today? Where do I think I could be today? And when typically you're training, you're looking for an 8 RPE. So it's out of 10, 0 to 10. 8 is I'm improving, but I'm not going to burn out. 9, 10 is you're close to burning out. So I want to sit around an 8. So at the beginning of every day, I'll think to myself, hey, what's an 8 today? An 8 today, maybe 1 task. Or an 8 today, maybe 10 tasks. Or it might be 4 tasks.
I like that. I really like that. That's really good.
So I give myself in my head an RPE scale. Okay, what do I need to do today that's going to improve me for today? Because today I may feel absolutely crap. So I'm only going to do 1 task. But that's my RPE 8. Or I could feel absolutely amazing. So I could do 40 tasks. And that's still an RPE 8.
And that's why I find that work-life balance thing really weird. Because that changes every day.
Yeah. And that's why, so talking S&C, a percentage based, sometimes you could go, okay, I'm going to do 80% of my 3 rep max. And it'll be a crap day and you can't even lift it. You can't even lift the first rep and you're thinking, I should be able to lift this. This should be easy. Or you could turn up and you feel really, really strong. You'll get those days where you feel really strong and you'll just rep them out. And you're like, well, that was a waste of time. That was so easy. But it's the same weight. It's just relative to the weight you've done beforehand rather than where you felt on that day. Pro lifters, they won't have that sort of a disparity because of obviously training experience and all the other physiological adaptations that they get. But point still stands. Depending on the day that you turn up with may change the weight that they lift, or instead of weight they lift, tasks I do or actions I take. I like that analogy. I'm going to use that analogy.
Yeah, I wish I could pull that shit off because I would use that analogy too. But that is a really good way of thinking about it. I do say that already, but just not with the letters and the understanding that you have.
Well, that's strength conditioning. That's anatomy physiology. That's like S&C performance coach. Unless you're an S&C performance coach that is in the productivity space. I don't know where you get that link. Maybe if I was in Rome, the unlinked bidirectional link thingy would have made that for me.
And then you would have just turned it into a smiley face.
Yes. It depends because some people like the process more instead of the item. This is coming from the designer's point of view.
Yes, definitely, 100%. But how can you lay out a process? Like, how can you measure the productivity of a process?
Yes, someone else that doesn't just sit inside all day.
I'll take that.
Well, but Esme's at Plymouth Uni, I think, so she'll have access to a gym, I imagine. I was as a student, you have access to the gym, and you're like, well, why not use a gym? Most people there's so many studies around this, but most people's restriction to using the gym, their first barrier is too expensive.
Yep.
And they don't go because it's too expensive. You're like, yep. Okay, fine. And then you say, okay, well, why don't you do it at home? Do bodyweight stuff? Well, no. And the most frequent barrier to that one is they want some social. They want something. They want other people there. They want to be doing it in a group. You're like, well, you're gonna have to go to a gym for that. So people just don't do it. You're like, well, you could do it at home, but you want people, but you don't want to have to pay for it, and that's where you get the people because you're at the gym and you're just like, And that's where obviously recreational sport comes in. But hey, either gym at home. I mean, we've got like a treadmill, but gym at home, that'd be nice. Anyway, right, we're closing in on 2 hours. John, any last words?
No. Have an awesome day. Make your own productivity. Even though it's like 9 o'clock in the evening.
Have an awesome day tomorrow.
Or
it could be in the morning for people, so yeah.
Choose your own productivity.
Yeah. We will be live next week, same time, with Layla talking ClickUp. If you have any specific questions you want us to ask her, then let us know on Twitter or something like that. And do share the stream link around, because I think that's going to be a really interesting conversation. I'm going to try and I don't know how it's going to work because we are kind of biased towards Notion because it's like a 2v1 and most of the community here are Notion. So maybe we'll have to go into like a ClickUp community and be like, hey, come and join this stream so it's not as biased. but
Nah. I think she'd bring her audience here to talk about it. So
yeah. But yeah, so if you do have any questions that you want us to ask her or just any general topics you want us to talk about, so go backwards and forwards, because at the end of the day, we're all productivity consultants. So it doesn't really matter too much about the app.
Well, I'm a simplicity specialist, but okay.
SS. I'm trying to think of a really nasty thing for SS, but I can't think of one right now.
Be very careful.
Yeah.
I think there is some really nasty things you could go.
Yeah, I know.
Like, be a point where you don't want to go there.
Exactly. I'm like, I could say that, but I don't want to say that. Anyway, bye, guys.
See you later.